In this video, I'm just going to show you a few things where you can do something with selections, resizing, erasing from layers to work on your collaborative edits. So what I have open is, let's call this the image I was given. And then I'm kind of going to work with maybe adding in pieces of these other images. So what I did is I did a file open and I opened 3 different images. The easiest selection tool, I believe, is the quick selection tool. What I want to do here is I want to cut out one of these hands and bring it over to another image. So I'm going to add to my selection, and I'm going to make this brush a little bit bigger so I can actually see it. This is the size of my brush right up here. You can slide that over. You probably don't want it super hard. You want to have kind of a softer edge when you're cutting something out. So here's the size of my selection tool. Notice that when you have the tool a little larger than what you're cutting out, like the width of these fingers, it might pick up a lot more than I want. So I can resize that up here, or I can use my bracket keys. I'm going to use my left bracket key to make this a little smaller. And then I can take away from my selection with the minus. And then I can just kind of click anywhere that I don't want to kind of get rid of that. And what's happening here is I had kind of a soft focus going with this hand, so it's kind of not picking up the greatest. Or getting rid of. So then I'm going to have to maybe go back and add to my selection, which is fine. Anywhere that the marching ants are, that is what is selected. Okay, so maybe I want to add a little bit of this arm. Now that I've created my selection, it's always better to select more than less, because you can always erase a little bit, once we move it over to the main area. I'm going to use my move tool here. You'll notice the scissors pop up. I'm going to click and drag it, and drop it here. Okay. Now I kind of want this hand to look like it's coming out from underneath the bed. That's not really going to happen here. So I can do a few other things. I can first of all make it smaller. So that would be my Command T. That is your transform option. Or if you want to see where that is Edit, Free Transform, Command T. And I'm going to hold down my Shift key while I kind of drag from the corner there. I can also rotate it a little bit by putting my mouse out to the side here. And maybe that will work a little bit better, so that it kind of looks like it's coming out from under the bed. Okay. The other thing we can do too, I'm going to hit return, is you can erase a little bit from this layer. You could erase, or you can show or hide. It's really up to you. The eraser tool, obviously you have to go back in your edits to kind of go back and bring it back. And I can kind of move it and kind of fit it there. And that might be one way to kind of clean up the edges and so on and so forth. So I might have to edit that a little bit more. The other thing you can do is you can bring over a whole image. Like say I want this maybe on the wall. Okay. I'm going to unlock that by clicking that. I'm going to drag this below layer 0. Then what I can do here is add a layer mask. And white is the presence of a change. We learned this in Photo 1. And black is the absence of that change. So what I can do is, using my paintbrush, making sure the mask is selected, anywhere I paint on this layer is now going to show what is happening behind and I'm selected on just the one layer. So oops, you know, if I layer over the hand, it's not going to do anything there. Okay, and then I can use my move tool to kind of adjust this a little bit, kind of bring that down. So maybe I want some ooky spooky thing happening there a little bit. And then if you recall this other thing we did in photo 1, we did a color match. So I could go up to image, adjustments, and I can go up to match color, and I could match this to one of those other layers. So maybe I want to match it to this layer and kind of blend that a little bit more. And then maybe I want to go back to this layer and do my adjustment, color match color. There it is. And then match that to this. And then it kind of blends it together more, even though it's not quite all there and edited yet. But look at how I've kind of blended that together a little bit. Obviously my selection is a little rough. You can go and refine that a bit more. But this was just one way to kind of get you started, looking at some ways to cut out pieces from other images, match color, use the selection tool, resize, and see if that works for you.